The reality of demons is clearly stated in the Bible. From the Old Testament to the New Testament, there are numerous accounts of demonic possessions. Jesus himself cast demons out from people, and his disciples did the same. Jesus had to deal with demons, even in some instances when it came to healing the sick. Demonic possession is very real, and the Bible proves that beyond reasonable doubt. There is nowhere in the Bible that tells us that demonic possession stopped when the Bible was written. If it happened then, it is still happening now. Jesus said in Matthew chapter 12, verse 25, "Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand." Satan's kingdom is not against itself. They are unified and determined to take as many people with them to hell. Look at how unified they are. We know the story of the man with a legion of demons. Listen to the confrontation between Jesus and the legion of demons. Mark chapter 5, verses 6 through 9. "But when he saw Jesus afar off, he ran and worshipped him, and cried with a loud voice, and said, 'What have I to do with thee, Jesus, thou Son of the Most High God? I adjure thee by God, that thou torment me not.' For he said unto him, 'Come out of the man, thou unclean spirit.' And he asked him, 'What is thy name?' Here is what I want you to pay attention to. And he answered, saying, 'My name is Legion, for we are many.'" Did you notice how he went from singular to plural? My name is Legion, for we are many. They are united. Please note, a legion is between 3,000 and 6,000 devils. This should tell you something about the human capacity. Let's just put that in context. One man was able to house at least 3,000 demon spirits. Satan's kingdom is built on hate and destruction, and his demons work together in unity against humanity because they hate human beings who are the objects of God's love. The demons' main objective is to steal, kill, and destroy, and they do this by working together to spread their influences across the world. It's important for us to understand that demons are not just a bunch of disorganized and individual beings who work independently. Rather, they have a highly organized hierarchy with different ranks and levels of authority. They work together, using their specific areas of expertise to attack and influence people in different ways. We must also remember that demons are unified in their hatred of humanity. And they work tirelessly to undermine God's plan for our lives. Their ultimate goal is to separate us from God and lead us into a life of sin and destruction. Now the question is, why do some Christians avoid the topic of demons? Perhaps it's because it can be an uncomfortable topic or even a scary topic to acknowledge the existence of supernatural beings that can harm human beings and even take control of them. However, ignoring their reality doesn't make them go away. Moreover, some Christians don't believe in demons at all. They may see the biblical accounts of demon possession as simply describing mental illness or other physical ailments. While it's true that not all afflictions are caused by demons, the Bible clearly distinguishes between illness and demonic possession. In Mark chapter 1, verses 23 through 26, for example, a man with an unclean spirit is described as having a supernatural strength and the ability to speak in a demonic voice. These are not symptoms of any known physical or mental illness. Matthew chapter 12, verses 43 through 45, "When the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places, seeking rest, and findeth none. Then he saith, I will return into my house from whence I came out. And when he is come, he findeth it empty, swept, and garnished. Then goeth he, and taketh with himself 7 other spirits more wicked than himself, and they enter in and dwell there. And the last state of that man is worse than the first. Even so shall it be also unto this wicked generation." This passage teaches us several things about demons. First, we see that demons desire a human host and look for a place among the empty, seeing it as an invitation. When a person is spiritually empty and unoccupied, they become vulnerable to a demonic possession. However, I would like to pause here to show you the character and audacious nature of unclean spirits. The unclean spirit states, quote, "I will return into my house from whence I came out." The unclean spirit is referring to the human body as his house, although he didn't create it. He is referring to the human body as his house, although he didn't buy it and has no claim to the human body. He is referring to it as his house. That right there is the nature of evil spirits. And to a further point, it is the nature of Lucifer, the fallen one. Remember, Lucifer wanted the worship and adoration of God, which he did not deserve and did not have any right to. "I will return into my house from whence I came out." This statement is the height of audacity. Second, we see that demons do not give up easily. When they are cast out of a person, they do not simply disappear. Instead, they seek to return to their former host. They consider the empty house an invitation to return. To some extent, this reveals to us that unclean spirits watch and observe. They watch and observe. Third, we see that demons are not satisfied with just one host. When the unclean spirit returns, it finds the man unoccupied, swept, and put in order. The man is spiritually empty and unoccupied. Jesus says that the house is swept and put in order to indicate that the man is ready to be reoccupied. His house is ready to be moved into once again. But the unclean spirit does not immediately move in as we might expect it to do. This should reveal to us how calculated unclean spirits are. They are beings that think, ponder, and calculate. Instead of immediately entering, it goes and takes along with it 7 other spirits more wicked than itself, and they go in and live there. Instead of moving in immediately, it finds other demon friends more wicked than itself, and then they all possess the man together. From this, we can see the cohesive nature of the kingdom of evil. They work together. They are a unified team, able to work together and cohabitate. Furthermore, we also see that this evil spirit gets spirits more wicked than himself. All demons are not the same. This passage of Scripture somewhat suggests there are levels to the wickedness of demons. Some demons are more wicked than others. We also see in the Bible that spirits can affect our world. Both angels and demons have the power to cause the supernatural to happen. We see in the book of Revelation where angels cause a great deal of occurrences to happen here on earth. Angels and demons can directly affect this world. Look at what the devil did to the life of Job.
I remember a pastor preaching on this subject a little while ago. He spoke of his experience about a blockbuster horror movie which came out in the 70s. If I were to name the movie, undoubtedly you would have heard of it. He spoke of how he warned his congregation specifically not to watch it, but unfortunately, not everyone listened.
It just scared me to death. Things just like this, really scared me to death. I'm just nervous.
Do you remember what particular scene it was that...
When she was in, what was it? When she was in a room, the doctors came in, and I guess it was when she was talking to Devil's voice.
I remember a pastor preaching on this subject a little while ago. He spoke of his experience about a blockbuster horror movie which came out in the 70s. If I were to name the movie, you would have undoubtedly heard of it. He spoke of how he warned his congregation specifically not to go watch it. But unfortunately, not everyone listened. A young lady in his congregation went to watch. She was an astonishing young lady. She went to that movie, and as she was watching that film, something entered her. She went home and told her mother, "I don't feel the same anymore. When I was watching that film, Mum, something entered me." Her parents brushed it off and told her not to worry about it. and that night the family experienced strange paranormal behavior in their home. They experienced things in their house that they had never experienced before. In the middle of the night, whatever entered her started to manifest.
My experience with this movie has been incredible, especially with people fainting. Halfway through the movie, the movie starts getting quite violent, and people get quite unusual reactions, and we have a lot of people throwing up and a lot of people shuddering. But the thing that really surprises me is people faint. I mean, I've never in my life known a movie where people would faint. I mean, it's hard to make people faint.
Demons can also do something extraordinary. Acts chapter 16, verse 16. And it came to pass, as we went to prayer, a certain damsel possessed with a spirit of divination met us, which brought her masters much gain by soothsaying. This girl was possessed by demons, was able to do this. They were using this girl to make money. Paul cast the demon out of this girl. This is just to let us know that some things happen on earth are just the works of angels or demons. They could make things happen in supernatural ways. There is a growing belief in our society that the ghosts people see are the spirits of the dead. However, I want to share with you today that this is not the case. The things that people see are more likely unclean spirits and demons. They are not people, and the Bible is clear regarding this. Many people believe that when we die, our spirits linger on earth in some form. However, the Bible teaches us that when we die, we go either to heaven or hell. There is no in-between state where we can come back to earth as ghosts. We must be careful not to be deceived by these demonic apparitions. The Bible warns us to avoid contact with the dead and anything related to the occult. The devil will use any means necessary to draw us away from God, and believing in ghosts is just one way he can do this. As Christians, we must be aware of the devil's tactics and stand firm in our faith. We must not be deceived by the appearance of ghosts or any other form of demonic activity. Instead, we should focus on seeking God and His truth and not be drawn into the darkness of the enemy. We as Christians, you and I, should know that there is a spirit world that exists around us, and we don't only live in a world of humans, but a world of spirits.